Okay guys, so this is a quick tutorial about how to log in and get started using the circuits.io program simulation. It's great because it's free, as you guys know, so you should have signed up with an email address and a password. Hopefully you remember that. If you don't, you may need to do some password recovery on your own. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sign in here. And I'm going to put in my email address. So this should be the email address that you signed up with. Okay, and I'll put in my password. Again, if you don't remember your password, you're going to have to do a password recovery. Click on the forgot password. It'll send you an email and you can reset it. All right, so once you get in there, you should see this page. If you're not at this page, best thing to do is click on Overview. You'll see Overview, that panel up there. So click on Overview and that will bring you to this page. All right, you want to click New. We want a new circuit. All right, so I'm going to click New. And you want a new electronics lab. Okay, and give it a few seconds. Sometimes it takes a few extra seconds. All right, so every new electronics lab is going to start with this. It's going to be a big breadboard, and it doesn't look a whole lot like the ones we use in class, so I prefer switching this out. So right away what you can do is if you click on it once, it gets highlighted. And then you can do one of two things. You can hit the delete key, or in the program you can hit the trash button. So to get rid of this, I'm going to hit the trash button. Give it a second. And it's gone. So I have a nice blank canvas to work on. All right, now, in order to get any components you're going to need, you need to go up to this box right here. You want to add components. This is where you're going to spend 90% of your time, is getting your components from here. So I'm going to click components, and you'll notice it opens this tray at the bottom. Keep it on all components grid, and it'll show you a nice picture of all of them. If you click on list, it's a little bit smaller, harder to see. All right, so either one is fine. So let's stick with the grid for now. And I'm going to scroll down, and you'll notice you have all kinds of components, lots of stuff that we've used in class: resistors, LEDs, power supplies. So you scroll down, you've got, you see a push button switch over here, just like the ones we've used. So just like before, just like we've done in class, this website simulates a lot of stuff really well. So this is going to be really useful to us this year. There's our relay we've used before. We've used capacitors in the last project. All right, so I'm going to keep scrolling down looking for the breadboard, and there we go. So we've got two breadboards here. This one was the one that we just got rid of, so we want the small one. Now if you click it once, you don't have to double click. If you click it once and wait a second, now I'm not clicking and dragging, it's actually stuck to my mouse, so I can move it wherever I want, and I'm going to click to drop it. So this works for every component. So I'm going to click, and it automatically opens the tray again. All right, now I want to orient it so that it's nice and up and down. So if I go over here, over to the left, upper left again, next to the trash button is the rotate button. So I'm going to click it until I've got it straight up and down. All right, so at any time I can actually click and drag my components. I click and drag my breadboard. I'm going to recenter it about here. All right, now we're ready to start putting some stuff together. So let's take a simple schematic. We've already looked at one of these before. So here is a picture of a schematic. All right, so this is a basic schematic just like we've seen before. It's got a 6-volt power supply connected to resistor, connected to an LED, and then to ground. All right, so I need to go and grab some components. I need two of them in this case. I need a resistor and I need an LED. So I'm going to open my components tray again. I'm going to scroll to the top where they were. Here's a resistor. I'm going to drag it on. There's my resistor. Okay, and again, I'll click my LED, just click it once, and now it's stuck to my mouse, and I'm going to set it down. All right, once I'm done with the tray, I can click anywhere in the field to get rid of the tray. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to take a look at my schematic again. So it looks like my resistor is connected to source. All right, so I'm going to click on my resistor, and I'm going to rotate it because I like it to go side to side like that. And I'm going to connect it from source to the breadboard. Now, if you play around with it a little bit, you'll notice that the components automatically snap to the holes. All right, so that's a good thing. You want to leave them connected to the holes, obviously. So I've got it going from source to a position on my breadboard. All right, if I look at my schematic again, I've got my resistor now connected to my LED. All right, so I'm going to take my LED. Now the curved end here is my, I can zoom in here real quick. This bent end simulates the positive part of the circuit, or of the LED. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to rotate it because I need these two pins to go on different rows. So I'm going to rotate it till it's like this, because it's the positive end. Again, if you look at the schematic, it's the positive end of the LED that's connected to the resistor. All right, so I'll get rid of that. So I have my resistor plugged into row 1, so I want the anode, this part of the LED, to also plug into row 1. So I'm going to do that, which means I've got my LED plugged into row 2 for the negative end. All right, and then the last thing is this negative end going to ground. Okay, so here, when you want to add a wire, you don't need to find it in components. Wires are naturally part of the breadboard on this simulation. So all I have to do is highlight a particular hole. I can highlight any of these holes. And I want to click it once. And again, just like the components, if I click it once, I've got a wire stuck to my mouse. So I'm not clicking and dragging. I just clicked it once and I'm moving the wire around. To drop it, I just click it again. So all I want to do is highlight the hole that I want to drop it into, and it's done. There's a wire. All right? So that's a basic circuit. And I could add as many components as I want, just like a real breadboard. I could add wires from here all the way down to here if I wanted to. I could connect components any way that I want. If I want to get rid of a wire, I would click the wire and hit the trash button or hit the delete key. So I'll trash that wire. I'll trash this wire. And maybe instead, for some reason, I want to pull it down here. So it's still the same circuit. Okay, so this is your basic introduction to how to use this program.